Alright guys, welcome back to Only Divergences. Today is Sunday, November 7th, and we are getting ready for a new trading week. This is going to be kind of a quick video because I'm looking at something very specific, and that's really all that I'm looking at here. I'm not initiating coverage, but I'm just making a comment on Futu Holdings, stock ticker symbol FUTU. Alright, now let's get to the analysis. So look, I don't know what this company is. I don't know what it does, but I am not looking at a company. I'm looking at human beings making decisions, and those decisions being recorded on a ledger, which is what a stock price chart is. This is just a reflection of collective human behavior and sentiment over time, as evidenced by various patterns, and I'm willing to bet that I can tell what humans will do in this context very soon. Ultimately, that is all technical analysis is, and that is why it is so different from fundamental analysis. This has nothing to do with a company. It has to do with people making decisions about companies and about group psychology. Strip away the news and narratives, and that is what you get. So what do we have? Well, we have a nice pump and dump. I bet there was a lot of hype here, and then a lot of hope here, and then a lot of pain. Whatever it was that all market participants believed in over here when the price was skyrocketing, they no longer believe in it right now. I think you can generally apply this concept to many stocks, but in particular, these relatively small companies, it's less than $10 billion here. A lot of them are hype-driven, especially during COVID. This happens all the time. It happened a few years ago with cannabis stocks. Remember that, and now it's happening to all of these. This is a natural phenomenon similar to waves crashing on the beach. Okay, so where are we now? We are post-pump, and we are post-dump, but the dump I think is not over yet. I know we're at this 200-week moving average. I don't think the dump is over yet. This is going to be a short video because I'm looking only for one thing in this stock, and that is a dead cat bounce at some point in the future on divergence. Okay, the hype has died, and we are now in a context that is not favorable. That's another way of saying a downtrend. We are in a downtrend, and we need clear material major bullish divergence, at least on the daily. I mean, we're not going to see it on the weekly, so let's go down to the daily before we can go long, right? That said, that is what I think we can expect from this stock sometime soon. So, look, we don't have the bullish divergence. I'm not going to compare this and say that this is a bullish divergence here. That to me is invalid. You can do that if you want, if you think this is, because it is a higher low. I agree. This is a low here and this is a low here, but this is, I'm not ready to go long here just yet. So when I say that we can expect something soon, I have to be clear. I mean in weeks or even months. I just want to clarify that because usually when I say soon, I mean tomorrow. Not in this case. Notice that it is still coming down, still lower highs and lower lows. And momentum here is not doing what I want it to do, basically. Now, I will say that it's possible that we do get some pops here, but I think just given the overall structure here, without any bullish divergence, we are in a downtrend. This did fade, that any pop would be faded. So the question is then ultimately, when is the move down over? And I would say just read my YouTube channel name. It's when we get a material bullish divergence on at least this daily time frame. That means we want to see a low on the MACD that's higher than the previous low. Now, you can say that this is a group of lows that is higher than this previous group of lows, but that still does not tell us that we want to move higher, because what we would want is we want one more move lower here at least. We would want to see this is a low and this is a low, so we would want one more low, and that low would have to be higher, and I don't see it there yet. So I try not to talk about narratives, but, I'll go there just for a second. I expect this to continue to come down until we get the bullish divergence, so we don't have that here just yet. And objectively, we can see this $40 area here, 45 maybe, which is where it consolidated before this big move here. This could be a support level, but then we also have this $30 level where it consolidated much longer. That could be a support level. So remember, I'm testing this hypothesis about how stocks behave in a trend and how they behave once that trend is over. Now, you cannot really call this what happened with Futu a trend. We had this pop, you could call this a trend, but then we had this sloppiness. And whether you call this a trend or not, whatever it was, we're now on the other side of it. We're now below it. And just as an aside, when you see a chart like this represents a volatile and unstable group of market participants. Okay, that is compared to, if we had a trend which was much more stable, we have a different group of behavior dynamics which should influence our expectations of price behavior. So something like this, a bit more stable. But I digress. So as momentum starts to dissipate, I think we could see a dead cat bounce. But again, I see that as being many weeks away, actually. And this is only speculative, so I will be back. So it will be only in the back of my mind, not even on my immediate watch list. But it was just something that I wanted to point out right now for the future. If this does play out the way that I wanted to, I will make an update, and I would like to actually call this potential trade out perfectly. So do expect more from me in the future if this stock does continue to ooze lower, just not yet. I mean, objectively, I want to see on the daily here black flatten and even start to come down. It's still rising, right? So that tells me that what this trending move is not over. If we do move higher from here instead of oozing lower, I'm not interested, because I don't see a larger term time frame signal that would allow for a sustained material move higher. I think the probability of a move like this, like a bounce, is very, very low, and I'm not interested in that. It could happen, but that's not my trade. So I do want this to continue to come down, and I'd like to snipe this trade perfectly for you, if you know what I mean. So we'll just keep an eye on that for now. And so if that is the case, then you will want to subscribe, because I'll call out that trade well in advance. Anyways, thanks for watching. Keep this idea in your back pocket for now. I will be putting out a couple more videos today, updating some stocks, so make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Take care, guys.